This is Appalachian Television Omni-Media, improving America. 3:02, local Wasteland time. This is Nightwatch, and you're listening to Midnight in the Wasteland. If you're wandering tonight, keep close to the embers. The cold has teeth and is hungry for anyone who forgets they're alive. A courier stopped by earlier. One of those soft-spoken types who doesn't stay very long. He left me a bundle of papers wrapped in twine. Said the children of Foundation held a little contest, a story-writing thing for the winter months. They asked if I'd read the winning tale on the air, in case anyone out there needed something gentle to hold on to for a few moments. It's strange, the things that survive the world ending. Stories, ink on paper, kids trying to imagine something brighter than the place that they're standing in. So tonight, for them, and for anyone following the old road north of here, I'll read it just as it was written. A story about a creature in the snow, and a town that refused to stop singing. Here it is. It's titled, How the Wendigo Stole Christmas, from Foundation. I guess the subtitle of A Wasteland Tale for a Cold December Night. Every soul down in Foundation liked Christmas a lot, but the Wendigo, north of Foundation, most certainly did not. The Wendigo hated Christmas, the cold, hungry season. Now, no settler alive ever quite learned the reason. It could be mutations had twisted his frame, or echoes of memories he couldn't quite name. But I think that the reason, the truest of all, was the hunger inside him, a hunger too old to recall. Whatever the reason, his past or his scar, he stood on the ridge, watching lights from afar, staring down Christmas Eve with a frostbitten frown at the lantern-lit windows that warmed up the town. He knew every soul down on Foundation beneath was patching their stockings with wire and old wreaths, and they're hanging their candles, he muttered annoyed, while I'm half forgotten, half frozen, half void. Then he hissed, with his Wendigo claws slowly drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow, he knew, all the girls and the boys would wake bright and early to salvage their toys, old circuit boards humming, tin ornaments ringing, a shred of the past in the gifts they were bringing. And then the noise, oh the noise, 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 the rare kind of joy that the wasteland destroys. Then the settlers young and old would gather to feast on canned beans, mirelick pickings, and 2-day-old beast. And that would be a sight that he hated at least. And then after dinner, they'd do something he feared, more than all of the rad storms, more than things disappearing. Every soul in Foundation, the tall and the small, would stand hand in hand by the old southern wall. They'd lift up their lanterns, their voices low ringing, and somehow, despite everything, still start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing. And the more the Wendigo thought of their song, the more he thought, I've endured this too long. For 53 winters I've listened, but now I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he growled an idea, a bleak little notion, a terrible plan formed in slow frozen motion. I know what to do, the Wendigo snarled in his throat. He scavenged some cloth and stitched a ragged red coat. Then he chuckled and muttered, what a cunning little plot. With this coat and this pack, I'll steal Christmas, the lot. All he needed was transport, a Brahmin perhaps, but none wandered near in the cold winter lapse. Did that stop the Wendigo? No, not at all. He just fashioned a sled from an old shopping mall. Then he dragged it himself through the frost and the crust, his bones clacking softly, like wood in the dust, down to the homes where foundation lies sleeping, down towards their chimneys where warmth had been keeping. All their lanterns were dim, quiet snow filled the air. Every settler lay dreaming of something still fair. This is stop number 1, Wendigo rasped through his teeth, and he crept to the roof with a quiet beneath. Down the chimney he slithered, a long arcing slide. If old Santa could do it, then so could his hide. He got stuck once or twice with a crack of old bone, but he forced himself through till he dropped like a stone. There the stockings were hung, patched with cord and old thread. These stockings, he sneered, will be empty instead. He slithered and he slunk with a cold, hollow pleasure, and stole every scrap, every can, every measure. Sugar bombs powdered, a nuke, a cap ring, a child's wooden bullet from the last wasteland spring, a scope for a rifle, a rag comic book, a cracked laser toy that still sometimes shook. He stuffed them in sacks, every parcel and piece. Then he slunk to the icebox. It took the day's feast, the last can of cram, the last roast of beast. He took it all gladly. He took it at least. Then he lifted their tree, just a dead branch of pine, wrapped in copper and light scavenged from down in the mine. But then came a sound, soft as snowfall's own sigh, a small settler girl rubbing sleep from her eye. Little Lila from Block 4, no taller than 2, who'd wandered for water, as wasteland kids do. She stared up at the Wendigo, trembling but brave. Why? Why are you taking our Christmas you gave? And though Wendigos aren't known for thinking things quick, he conjured a lie, wasteland smooth, wasteland slick. There's a light on your tree that won't spark, little dear. I must fix it tonight so it shines through next year. And his growl was so low, and his coat was so red, that she nodded and wandered right back to bed. He stuffed up the tree, took the log from their fire, left nothing behind but the cold and a wire. And he did the same thing to each settler's abode, till his sled was piled high, like a rust-eaten load, 3,000 feet up to the ridge's bleak summit. He dragged every sack with no warmth left below it. They're waking up now, Wendigo snarled through the gale. They'll cry when they see what I stole without fail. They'll weep and they'll howl in Foundation Square, but no Christmas will come, because nothing is there. He paused, hand to ear, as the gale line grew pale, but instead of lament, or a broken-voiced wail, he heard singing, soft singing, not mournful at all, a sound drifting upward from Foundation's south wall. They were singing, every settler, the tall and the small, singing softly together, in spite of it all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming, it came. And a lantern-lit whisper, it came all the same. And the Wendigo stood with ice under his feet, puzzling a puzzle no hunger could beat. It came without rations, or salvage or caps. It came without firewood, stimpaks, or scraps. And he stood there for hours, till the cold bit him sore, till he thought something old he'd forgotten before. Maybe Christmas, he rasped, isn't stored in a crate. Maybe Christmas survives even after you take. And down in his chest, where the hunger bit tight, something loosened a little that cold winter night. He didn't turn kind, he didn't turn tame. A Wendigo's nature is mostly the same. But he dragged back the sled, through the thin morning light. Left the goods at the edge of foundation that night. No settler saw him, or would have believed, but some swear they heard footsteps, soft crunching, and leave. And each Christmas since, some swear they still know. There's a place by the ridge, where the cold wind blows slow, where a Wendigo pauses, thin, ragged, alone, listening to voices that softened his bone. Not healed, not redeemed, but a little less wrong. Just quiet in winter, when foundation sings on. Interesting story. Thank you for writing it. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Stay safe this season. This is Nightwatch, and you're listening to Midnight in the Wasteland.